Dieser Podcast wird unterstützt von Dragonflip. Dragonflip ist der führende Broker für E-Commerce-Brands. Dragonflip gibt dir Zugang zu über 2000 Investoren für deine Brands, sodass du am Ende den besten Käufer, den höchsten Preis und die besten Terms für deinen Exit erzielst. Und jetzt viel Spaß beim Podcast. Alright, herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Ausgabe von Exit2Go. Today we have a special guest. Today we have Brandon Young, and this is actually a special episode because it's our first episode in English, so our first English-speaking guest here on the show, Brandon Young. Brandon Young is a seller from the US who has crossed actually a 3 million revenue months last year. I've seen that on your Facebook cover, so that's pretty insane. He's managing over 40 employees with his wife and is also the founder of the Seller System, a very big and very known course in the US, and also now founder of a tool which we will also talk about today, founder of the Data Dive tool. Very happy to have you here on the podcast. Welcome, Brandon.
Thank you for having me, Dustin. I'm excited to be here as well.
Great. So yeah, we were just talking a little bit already, and I think we have two major topics which we would like to discuss on today. And the first one would be your general approach, how you would look for new products, so the general topic, product research. But then we also want to talk about the point how your new tool, Data Dive, can help to evaluate if a product is the right pick or not. So let's start with the first. So product research. I mean, that's a topic we probably can talk about hours and hours, and there are different approaches. But I really would like to know, what is your most important point when you look into new products? What are you looking for?
The most important thing that I'm looking for when I make a decision on whether to do a product is how good are the competitors at meeting the demand on Amazon? And then also how much demand is on Amazon and how distributed is that demand? So there's a few parts to that I want to clarify. There might be a lot of search volume, but if all of that search volume is on one or two keywords, it's not a good idea to go and try to compete with a bunch of sellers on one or two keywords. So we like to find products that have a decent amount of aggregated search volume and then a large distribution of that search volume across a lot of different keywords. And we go a step further where we break down the keywords by what we call roots and root words. These are the repeated words throughout that list. And we like to find products where there are multiple ways to call that product so that we can find that data, go deeper and find all of those keywords and rank for all of them. And it's going to be much more difficult for someone who isn't using Data Dive or understand how to do the keyword research. It's going to be much more difficult for them to find the keywords and rank for them and optimize for them. So our advantage and our strength is keyword research. And so we want to pick products that play to those strengths. We don't want to choose products that are very narrow.
So when you're talking about these roots, so you can also call them like synonyms. You want to have like different ways to describe the product, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So a diaper bag might be called a diaper satchel or a baby bag. There's going to be different ways, diaper bag backpack, diaper backpack, baby backpack, right? There's a lot of different ways people might search for that same product. And we're looking for all of those different main ways they're searching for it and building it into our listing and prioritizing it based on broad search volume and a few other things.
Yeah, makes absolutely sense. To be honest, we also like started with such a very similar method when we start to now determine the niche. Like we are looking for single keywords, like not long tails. We really like to see like single keywords, like different major keywords to describe the product. I think this is a very, very similar approach. So it would be interesting now to know, when you say, okay, you want to have a nice cumulated search volume, I guess, like what numbers are you looking for? I mean, it probably has to be sometimes different, because like a $10 product probably needs maybe a little bit more search volume when you want to sell a lot than a, I don't know, 60 USD product.
This is very unique to each seller, because everyone has their own risk tolerance, and everyone has their own budget and capital requirements. So if you don't have a lot of capital, you're going to be searching in a smaller slice of the potential products. What we can do is identify what type of budget would be required to realistically compete in a niche or in a product based on the data, because we can see what the true overall demand is and how many sales you can realistically expect to receive if you rank well amongst the majority of those keywords. And then that will let you know how many units you need to order. And if you back out your landed cost and add a little bit more for marketing and for your next order, you really can come up with a pretty accurate idea of a budget required for a product based on the keyword research as well.
So when you start with the research, you already have like your filters in mind because of the budget?
Yeah, I recommend that completely, because a lot of people will fail because they enter products, or they try to launch a product that they realistically can't afford to be in. They run out of stock, they never order enough inventory, and they're constantly stocking out. And then that constant stock out will result in a loss in keyword ranks and a spiral of that product. It's very difficult because of the way Amazon's algorithm works. It's going to be calculated over many different averages over time. So they calculate two different things: performance and relevancy. And performance is click-through rate, conversion rate, and revenue. And you have a 1-day average, a 3-day average, a 7-day average, 15, 30, 60 days. And all of those averages are put together to compare to your competition, and then multiplied times your relevancy score. And if your total times your relevancy score is better than your competition, you rank better than them. If it's lower, then you rank lower. But those performance metrics, when you stock out, go to zero. So you start averaging in a bunch of zeros into all of those averages. And the newer averages are weighted heavier than the older averages. So it's very quick for your product to start to fall in ranks, and it's very difficult to recover because of the same reason. You have to overcome that negative history as soon as you stock back in. So if you're out of stock for more than 30 days, you really start to see a big cliff in your performance when you come back into stock. And so we recommend very early on understanding your cash flow through several orders, and understanding how much money you're going to be putting out and how much you can expect to be getting back, taking into account all expenses, including potential marketing launches, your expected marketing during growth and during different phases of your product, so that you can really understand how much capital is required for each SKU.
So it sounds like you're not a huge fan of just like testing products with a small amount of quantity.
No, I mean, I think that by the time you spend the time to develop that product, do the research, and get it to Amazon, that's a journey that takes 3, 4, 5 months sometimes. It does, like, that one test might do well, and then you need to reorder and get it back in there. It's another 3, 4. You've lost half a year or more to test that product. I would rather do the front-loaded research and be very confident based on the research and the data, and then do a full launch every time.
Okay. So have the budget in common with the search volume. So always look at these.
Yeah, not only that, but you need to understand the competitive landscape and how good your competition is. Because if you have a few sellers that are selling a ton of units, you need to understand where they're getting their sales and what you can do realistically duplicate from their sales. They might be selling 5,000 units a month, but they're ranked for keywords that you can't possibly rank for at launch, like gifts for babies or baby shower gifts. Very generic, high search volume keywords that they've managed to work their way up to and build a foundation and get ranked on. And realistically, if you back that out of their sales, and then you look at the other sales, the other 60 or 70% of the keywords that are relevant, highly relevant, and you look at the sales that are being driven from those products, now you can come up with a more realistic idea of your velocity and how many units you can order.
So when you say like you have to look into how good your competition is, this is like the next step. You go, this is like, okay, you have found like a very nice niche where you see a lot of keywords or roots are describing one product. So then this part starts kind of. Is it like that? So then you look into the competition.
Yeah, I mean, you use Data Dive and you understand the master keyword list. I would love to just for your audience to I can pull up a master keyword list and probably explain visually. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure. Like the main idea was like go to the structure of a product research in general, but now we see how important the keyword list is for you. So let's
absolutely. So realistically, when I look at a master keyword list, I'm getting a very good idea of what are the highly relevant keywords that drive sales. What can I realistically duplicate very quickly and launch? And how many sales can I expect from those keywords that I can realistically expect to rank for based on the search volume of those keywords? Now, I'm going to push and try to rank for more roots and more keywords as I'm going through my launch, but that might not happen until my second order or third month or fourth month, right? So I have different phases of the product where I have my initial launch, the keywords, I'm targeting that entire list, but I know it's going to be time before I'm a top 3 listing. I might be a top 10 listing in the first week or two, but I'm not going to be a top 1 or 2 listing or top 3 listing usually within the first 30 to 45 days. It's going to take some time and some pushing and the right type of marketing to achieve that. So that helps me understand how many units I should order. Also, whether I should even do that product. Many times people make mistakes choosing a product because they see the best sellers doing well and think they can duplicate that. And realistically, there's not a lot of additional keywords driving sales. So if you only focus on the highly relevant keywords, there's very little search volume and very little opportunity to rank outside of those generic keywords that some of these best sellers have achieved. And you'll see a giant drop off in sales in that case. Sometimes the best seller is selling 10,000 units and the next guy is selling 800 units a month. And that's a very clear case of what you should realistically expect is probably closer to that 800 units a month.
Yeah, I get it. So you like to see the sales spread out through different products. Like you don't want to see like 1-2 products performing well. Like the more products performing well, the better the indicator is for you.
Well, more importantly, it's just understanding how they're getting their sales, because they could have a big brand name and people are searching for the brand name. So you can see those branded keywords. You can see if they're driving sales from outside of Amazon. You can see if they're ranked for generic keywords that you can't realistically duplicate, at least quickly. And so when you start to lay out the master keyword list and look at the keyword data, the picture makes sense. And that's the most important thing to me, is that I have to have a clear idea of how I'm going to get my sales based on the market. And if I can't paint that picture clearly, I won't do that product.
Yeah, makes sense. We also try to create kind of a formula for us, for our company. And that's also like one variation which says like, how many sales are coming through the brand. So we look for the brand name, the search volume for the brand, and then we start to determine also, okay, how many sales can you realistically also grab from such a competitor. So yeah, I think that's a very good point. Okay, sure. So we want to jump into Data Dive.
Yeah, I'm happy to do a quick walkthrough. And I mean, you're very familiar with the tool, it sounds like. So do you have anything in particular you want me to show?
Yeah, I mean, we can. I've seen your diaper as we just talked before. Like, we can definitely use this because there's like so many great examples to see, especially the outliers. That's something I really love. So maybe just like in general. So when we are now talking about Data Dive, so maybe for everyone who's listening now, so what is the main idea for you with Data Dive? So maybe with 1 or 2 sentences first.
So it all started with the thesis of our product research and keyword research, which is that we really want to understand how the competitors are getting their sales and what is the true demand for a product on Amazon. So if we can paint an entirety of a picture and then we can evaluate how good the competition is at Amazon, then we can evaluate the risk of doing a product, the velocity of a product that we can launch, and the true opportunity of a product. And so we used to do a lot of this manually, creating these sheets, aggregating this data and manipulating the data. And luckily, we were able to, with the help of our tech team and our CTO, Florin, we were able to create an automated version that does it all in minutes rather than hours.
Yeah, it's insane how much time, especially you can save with this tool. So yeah, let's make a little walkthrough.
Awesome.
Okay, so everyone who's now just listening, I really recommend to jump on YouTube and also have a closer look on what we are going to show now.
All right.
So let me just check, like I have to add, yes, okay, I can add it here. Okay. So
let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah, let me just find the perfect. I hope it's fine like this. Just give me a second. Okay, will it work like this? Like we can, it's a little bit splitted, but I think we can see everything.
Yeah, it's okay. You guys don't need to see me if you just want to show the screen.
So let me just. Okay, let's make like this.
Okay. So this is an older sheet. It's going to be missing a few things, but because you wanted to see diaper bag, I haven't pulled up a diaper bag dive in a little while, but almost all the elements are here. And I can walk through quickly what you're seeing. Essentially what you do is when you select the 15 to 20 best sellers of a product, you can do it a couple different ways. You can add them to your tray within the Chrome extension, or you can just select them all from one keyword or one subcategory. Most of the time, the best sellers aren't going to be all on the same keyword. So, but sometimes they are. Like in diaper bag, you would expect them all to be, and you'll see that they are. So, what you're seeing here is you have the 15 best sellers that we had chosen, and you're seeing some information about them, how long they've been in business, their reviews, the velocity, how many sales per month they're making, their revenue, and you get a little bit of information. But more importantly, what we're seeing is these are all of the keywords that we find that they rank well for. And so if you look at this, we have 240 keywords with at least a 5 relevancy. I went up to 5 relevancy for this example, but you can go all the way down to 1 or 2.
Yeah, and maybe just quickly, Brenton, so for everyone who's watching, so how we are getting this data actually. So the cool part is if you already have helium, like you just like open the X-ray on your SERP, and then you can just like click the keyword, click the products you want to compare. So if you're just wondering where or how this is coming from, so we just like can select every product you want to have to compare with on helium, and then Data Dive can do its work.
Yeah, I'll show that really quickly so that people can see. So if I were just to search quickly for for diaper bag on Amazon, X-ray here from Helium 10. I have to log into my account. Give me 1 second.
Sure. That's maybe also a cool part we can just like quickly talk about. Where is Data Dive even pulling the data from?
So Data Dive pulls from a few different sources. We're aggregating data from Google, from Helium 10 and X-ray from and Cerebro. We're also pulling it from Amazon itself. So if you log into Amazon, which I didn't do here, but I can do that very quickly as well. So that way it pulls data from there. And let me see here. I'll share again.
And I think Keeper as well, right?
Yeah, Keepa is a great tool as well. And I think I had that one logged in as well. So what we're trying to do is just really get as much data about each product as possible, their history, their sales, their trends, their charts, the keywords that they're ranked well for. And then that way we can put all of that data together and parse it and display it in a way that makes sense so that we can paint that picture. So if I were here, there's two different things I can do. I can add all of these competitors to my tray. And if I add a competitor to tray, like this, it's going to be stored up here in my tray, right? And I can do a custom dive. So if I clear my tray and then I add them again, you'll see that as I add competitors to the tray, I can find them from multiple keywords and multiple subcategories. So that way I can do a custom dive. And then once I do the custom dive or custom search, then I can just run X-ray. But what we're going to do for this example is we're going to assume that the 15 bestsellers are on the first 2 pages of diaper bag, right? Of this keyword. And remember that for the most part, that's not the case. The 3rd, 4th, 6th, 7th, 8th bestseller might be not indexed for that keyword. They might be getting their sales from somewhere else. And you need to know that. You need to know where they're getting their sales so that you can also do that, because you want to take advantage of all the different routes, all the different keywords. And that's the magic. So for the most part, we recommend that you usually will find multiple keywords. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to just choose the 15 bestsellers. And I'm going to, you can add them to tray from here as well, from X-ray, just by clicking the green button. But if I just select them, you're going to see them populate here, and it's going to let me know how many I would search for. And here's data dive here. It just lays on top of X-ray. Now, I'm not going to choose the ones that expand. I only want to choose the backpacks for this dive. And that's the key, too, is that seeding and finding the best sellers of a niche that you want to analyze is the most important part. So you can go very narrow into a niche and only choose backpacks. You can do all best sellers, including totes and the expandable one and the backpack. Or you can just do the totes. So that way you can get an idea of how the best sellers from each niche are doing and getting their sales, or how the overall market is as well. And I recommend doing both. I really think that you get different data and different information from each one.
How many products can we actually choose up to?
You can choose up to 20.
Up to 20, okay.
Yeah, and what we're doing, and here's brand analytics here. What we're doing is we're also allowing you in the new version of Data Dive, which is currently in beta. We have 110 members in beta, and it's the full web application, because right now this is the beta version really of Data Dive, which is it populates into Google Sheets for you. It takes about 60 seconds. But what we're allowing you to do is we're allowing you to track different niches. So like right now, I'm searching just for diaper bag backpacks that don't expand, for example. I'm going to be able to pull that same exact dive with those competitors multiple times over time, and then see the movement in that market and see maybe mine is one of the ones I chose. And then I can see how good of a job I've done at getting better or filling in the gaps in my indexing or ranking. I can also see the evolution of that niche. I can add more competitors. We're going to allow you to add as many as 40 competitors to one niche that you're tracking as well. Over as we build out this niche tracker for you.
Yeah, and so what is Data Dive doing now? So Data Dive is now pulling the data from all different locations, right? And I was just like wondering also a few days ago, what happened if I'm like not logged into brand analytics? What if I don't have a register?
Yeah, so we use brand analytics right now in just one tab, and it's we find that it's not advanced enough to really give us any additional data beyond what we're already pulling. So it's not as good yet, but we feel that as we tie Data Dive into the API with Amazon, and the API has more and more data that we can provide to you that is going to be much more valuable and much more accurate data in some cases as well. So we're very excited about being partners with Amazon and working with them to be able to pull some pretty fantastic data.
But the most important data is coming then from Helium, from Cerebro, or where would you
Yeah,
say?
most of the most important data for us currently is coming from Helium 10 and our partnership with them.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So actually, probably everyone who will use data dive also will need the Helium 10 account.
Yeah, currently you need both. We're working with Helium 10, and over the next couple 2-3 months, it'll move to an API on our end so that you don't need both. But for the most part, they have a lot of great tools that you'll probably want to maintain and keep anyway.
Yeah.
So if you're looking here, like this is the initial raw search, and we see our best sellers. And we're seeing that we have 403 keywords with at least 3 relevancy and at least 350 search volume per month. And we have, we calculate the relevancy by counting the number of these competitors that are ranked well for this keyword. The more competitors that are ranked well, of the best sellers that are ranked well for a keyword, the more relevant that keyword. It's pretty straightforward.
So when we have relevancy 3 means we have at least 3 competitors showing up in the first 307.
Yeah, you'll notice that you'll get more and more green as you scroll down because these competitors get less and less less and less for these keywords. But that also means that these are less relevant. Like leather diaper bag isn't relevant to what we searched. The material was agnostic. These are felt, these are canvas, these are different materials, right? So we need to clean this raw list up to remove a lot of these keywords that are not relevant. But the way I look at green, and the reason that it's green is because green means opportunity. It's opportunity for you to do better than them. So when you see a lot of green, that's good for you. And what you're seeing here is that we can clean this list up by removing keywords in a couple different ways. Because the first thing that I like to do is once I get an overview of how many keywords and relevancy in the raw list without cleaning it, I also want to understand how many are doing good that I would consider very good at Amazon. So of this 400 keywords, I have 1.1 million search volume. And this guy's ranked well for 995,000 of it. And remember, not all these keywords are relevant. So he's ranked well for 87% of this raw list that has a lot of keywords that aren't relevant. So he's what we consider very good at Amazon already before we even clean up the list. And so is this guy, Ruvalino. They're both Ruvalino listings. And
can you just like talk a little bit more detail about how you determine what's a very good and just a good product? Like how do you?
Okay, so we feel that if you're ranked well for at least 80% of the search volume, then you're very good at Amazon. It means that you're good at finding the keywords, optimizing for them, writing your listing, and running good, efficient pay-per-click and marketing and Amazon SEO. It means you're very good at Amazon SEO, really. If you're between 60 and 80% of the search volume that drives sales for a product, then we think that you're good at Amazon. If you're doing worse than that, then you're just okay or weak at Amazon. So ideally, when we're looking for a potential product that we want to do, we want to see a lot of okay and weak sellers and very few good and very good.
Makes absolutely sense.
Yeah. And so the thing that you mentioned earlier that you love, which is one of my favorite parts of the tool as well, is that after evaluating how good a lot of these sellers are, which is most of them are good or very good, so it's a very competitive niche, probably one I wouldn't enter willingly. Is I also want to see where these other keywords that they're driving sales from that might not be very popular. And that's where we have our outlier keywords. So for example, this first listing, he has 15,000 sales a month. And at 87%. But he's also got an additional 6 keywords with 47,000. I really want to see what these other outlier keywords that are driving sales are. And you'll notice that Itsy Ritzy, which is this brand name here, is driving 34,000 searches a month for this one competitor. They're good at Amazon. They're 69% on the main list. But they're also number one for their own brand name and driving a lot of search volume, which means that they probably are either a combination of in retail. They're a major brand that's like located in major stores and people look for them on Amazon. or they could also be a driving a lot of direct-to-consumer traffic. So maybe they have a Shopify store and they run ads, but this is a very expensive product. So I imagine that maybe it's a luxury type item and they have a direct-to-consumer. It might be something owned by a celebrity. And I don't know anything about Itsy Ritzy. I've never seen them before, but this would be my guess. And if I dig deeper into who they are and what they're doing, it's probably that. It's probably a direct-to-consumer luxury brand. They run ads. They have influencers, and people search for them on Amazon directly. So they have a lot of search. So I wouldn't know that otherwise about my competition. So that's an insight, right?
Yeah. So actually, we really like to see when we have outlier keywords, like usually. But now, especially when it's a branded name, that's probably something we don't want to see in an outlier, right?
Well, it helps paint the picture. It's important to see it and identify and understand it, right? Like, so to me, my mind doesn't like to move forward until I have all the data, until I understand the market. And so if I don't have all the data, I'm guessing. And if I'm guessing, I'm risky. So, and I don't want to risk my capital and my money. So if Data Dive is made to help you paint the picture complete, to understand the entire market and understand all the best sellers and the competitors, to really go deep on your competition. So here's another example. Like, this is baby must-haves. Very generic keyword, 29,000 search volume a month, which is a good amount. And this guy's number 9. This Ruvalino here is number 9. And you've got their 27 and 19 for newborn essentials, baby essentials. So this keyword essentials is very good for them. And you've got number 15 for the Spanish term here for this this brand, which is Up Simples. So you really start to see, like, which of these outlier keywords can I realistically expect to also take advantage of? Which ones should I prioritize, or which ones should I just really try to back out of their sales and realize I can't also duplicate? The reality is, since a lot of these are generic, they might not be getting a lot of sales from them anyway. If you're number 35 for the Spanish term, and it has 7,000 searches a month, it might only be contributing a few sales a month, being down at the bottom of page 1. So realistically, you need to understand how rank impacts conversion and how the relevancy impacts conversion. You'll find that if a highly relevant keyword in a product that isn't based in fashion, most of the sales happen in the first 5 results. So if you're number 25, you're not getting a large market share of that keyword. And so you need to understand that as well.
Yeah. I also really like the outliers, not only to estimate, okay, how this niche or how much potential is there still on the table, but also to just like optimize your current listings. Like, you can also see, okay, you can take your own listing into Data Dive, compare with all the other listings, and see where are all the other listings. Like, and of course you can do it otherwise also with Cerebro or other tools, but you just have this data shown like in seconds, right? So
correct. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and I'm going to look at these root words. And these are the roots that we really want to see that bigger distribution. And this, unfortunately, you don't see it in diaper bags either. Really, it's diaper bag and then backpack. Like, these are the main roots, baby. But outside of that, there aren't many ways people are calling a diaper bag. We had made a couple examples before, but the overall broad search volume of these other roots is very small compared to these main ones, right? And you can see the visualization of this concentration of distribution. Normally, we want to see this distribution much greater.
Yeah. So this shows the keyword density, right? So
it's basically keyword density amongst the root words, and phrases.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. And that was the part we were talking about at the beginning, where we said, like, we want to see as much as possible a split it up keyword density, right? So you're looking for like much more orange bulks, which are like separated through the different keywords then, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect. We want to see that distribution go all the way down as much as possible, because that plays to our strengths. Our strengths is finding this data anyone can guess how to write a diaper bag listing if all of the main keywords are related to diaper bag, backpack, right? And baby diaper bag, right? So
And do you have kind of a number, like where now we can say, okay, like look, 6 keywords are taking so much of the keyword density, or so.
We're working on a formula for you, and what you'll see is, like, in our newest tool, we're going to we have in the beta version, the full web app, we're evaluating the market based on your parameters. So you're going to let us know your budget and your risk, tolerance. And we're going to let you know whether it's a good product or not based on what we're analyzing. One of the factors that we're trying to take into consideration is that distribution of search volume.
It's getting scary how easy it becomes, right?
Yeah, I think, but ultimately we still only have 1,500 users, so it's a very small niche. We're very small still, and but I mean, maybe when we get to 50,000 users, then it'll start to be a concern, right?
But congratulations! I think you just posted it today, right? You just crossed the 15.
Yeah, we just crossed that benchmark. It's a very big benchmark for us, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean it's an unbelievable tool. I think I really think it will help like so many new sellers also just to understand what are the parameters you can also look on, like because then you can also start. When we now maybe jump forward, when we're now talking about, okay, how much potential is there still on the table, also how to implement this potential very, very easily into the listing, right? With the listing builder.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to sorry, it says trying to connect. Did you lose me?
No, I still hear you.
Okay. I'm just writing down a few of these root words that I want to remove to clean up the list very quickly, right? So I opened up a notepad, and I'm just going through this root list to remove keywords that I don't think are relevant for what I'm selling.
You can also that's maybe also a very good point, maybe which we can also show when we have the master keyword list, like the first page. There will maybe appear some keywords where we will say, okay, this is probably like, we don't want to compare ourselves with this keyword, or we don't want to fight for this keyword because maybe it's branded or something. That we can even put keyword on a blacklist, or I don't know how you can.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing right now. So I'm just gonna show you really quickly what I'm doing here. So I'm looking at this master keyword list, and I can go through and I can sort this by search volume, right? Instead. But by looking at the root words, I was able to find very broad phrases that I want to remove to clean up this list. Graco was one of them here. And these are just brand names that I'm making notes of. But once I sort by search volume first, you're going to see a lot more green opportunity, but you also are potentially going to find a lot more keywords you want to remove from the list. It says trying to connect. I might be having an issue with my Google Suite, with my my connection. I apologize. But you can remove keywords simply by clicking. Oh, okay. I have to authorize. Give me 1 second.
Sure. I also still have to authorize every new search actually on my data dive.
Yeah, it depends on your Chrome settings, I think.
I have to check that.
All right, here we go. Just a sneak peek to give your viewers a sneak peek at the full version. This is the web app. So here's our new master keyword list and all of our information. Here's the master keyword list here. And then here are all the tools and some new tools built into it as well. Here's that niche tracker, profits calculator as well. We're going to have we're building in an entire cash flow projection for you as well.
Nice.
So here we are. Here we've sorted it, and if I wanted to remove just one keyword, I can select it, and then I can remove it, and you'll see how it impacts. The number of keywords goes down by 1, and the search volume is removed. And generally, what will happen is as I remove keywords that are not relevant, you'll see that some of these sellers get even better, right? Because they weren't worried about ranking for them either. So many of them didn't. But if I go to exclude these keywords and I type in all of these keywords here, and then I exclude all of those phrases, it's going to remove a lot more than just those keywords. It went all the way down to 349, removed over 50 keywords and a bunch more search volume. And then now another competitor is now considered very good. And here's what I'm talking about with the indexing and writing the listing and using it as an optimization tool that you mentioned earlier as well. This guy right here is very good at Amazon, but he's got 190 and 290 for 2 keywords. What are those? What is this green, this area of opportunity? Remember, green is area of opportunity. And I'm seeing that this is diaper bags for baby girl and baby bags for girls. So this guy just completely ignored writing girls into his listing or doesn't prioritize these phrases, even though they carry a decent amount of search volume. Now, it's a black diaper bag, which could be gender neutral. So it could be for boys or girls, right? So I really think that he might be making a mistake. Now, these are clearly more for girls down here, which is why, they don't have as many sales as a lot of these other guys. But they're much worse at Amazon. But because they're good at the girl keywords, they still get 1,000 sales a month, almost as many as this guy who is very good at Amazon, right?
Yeah.
So it's a very interesting dynamic that you can start to paint the picture and really understand who's taking what angle, what niche have they carved out, and then what can you duplicate, what can you do better. And it's interesting in something where you have a lot of different designs and you can understand that maybe I launch a variation. I launch this black one, which is gender neutral, which doesn't seem to convert as well, right? They're ranked for a lot of keywords, but the sales are much lower. So it seems like gray just does a lot better than black. And the same is true here. This guy's pretty good, but a lot less sales. So people look to be looking for gray. So I would probably, if I was doing a diaper bag, based on the market, I would launch a gray diaper bag, but I would also launch a pink or a flower version and rank it specifically just for the girl keywords. And then I would have a secondary listing. Now, if I go through and I look at this deep dive data, I can look at trends, seasonality. I can see the demand. This is the Google data that we looked at. In the new version, in the Google data, you're going to be able to seed multiple keywords, and we're going to pull Google data for you for multiple keywords so you can really understand potential trends of an entire market. But most importantly, look at all these variations that some of these best sellers have. You can see the number of variations they have with all these ASINs, and you can really see how that impacts their overall sales versus someone who might only be selling one listing. And if you go down here, this guy that doesn't have as many sales, he only has two listings. And that's, 2 variations. That's a significant, hole in his opportunity. Again, Babelroo, black diaper bag, only 2 variations. But here you go. You've got these single variation, pink and flower. This one has 2 variations, doing almost as many sales simply because they carved out a niche within the niche of diaper bags by targeting diaper bags for girls.
Yeah, I love what you said, that once you start to even clean up the list, the very good can get even better or change sometimes. So that's something I also realized, that I looked into the list and I just seen, okay, I can't really take this keyword into consideration, this neither, and then the list starts to change. And I think that's something very important. Like, don't look at data dive from the first second and say okay, all are very good or very bad. Like, also look into the keywords and get rid of a few of them and clean up the list a little bit. Yeah, I think it's a very good point.
Yeah, and I'm just removing these keywords quickly, and you'll see, because this is a decent amount of search volume. I'm going to go from 348 keywords and at 1,220,000 to under 1 million, and now you'll see the market change again, even further.
Yeah.
And so as you clean up the list and make it more accurate, you really start to understand the entirety of the market, the competitors, their approach, the number of, again, you go deeper into their listings, the variations. Now, let's say that you also want to see if you can do a better job of optimizing. This is a very, very mature market in the fact that, like, if you look at their titles and you bring in this data set of keywords, almost all of them have these most important keywords written exactly in exact form in their title. And you don't see that in a lot of markets. You don't see a lot of niches where everybody's really good at writing their title or very strong at writing their title. You'll see a lot of holes. It'll look more like this at the best keywords rather than this, which is prioritizing the broad search volume and the ranking juice potential. So it's a very interesting, and this is a very generic keyword, just bag. I'm going to remove that one as well. See what happens. There's a lot of search volume. So you'll see that that'll probably strengthen it as well. And see, look, as soon as I remove that one generic keyword, a lot of people became very good at Amazon all of a sudden. Look at that. It flipped. So that goes to show you that the raw data is not nearly as important as really going in and understanding the data, which is what we allow you to do.
Yeah, and I think now we're just starting to see how competitive this niche is already. Like, we've just also gone quickly through the pictures. We have seen the clean pictures. We have now seen the structure of the title, and now the pictures getting clearer that the competitors are very well at the marketing side as well on the
and another thing I like to do beyond, I mean, this is a giant red flag. Look how mature this market is. You have 7 very good, 3 good. Like, that's amazing. Like, this is such a competitive market. But if you come in here and you look at the battle of the titles and you see all these high scores, what I like to also do is try to see if I can do a better job. So I might take this guy who's got one of the highest scores. The 4.3 million seems to be the highest. I might take his listing to our listing builder. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to analyze how good of a job he's done and see if I could even do better, right? So when you put it into our listing builder is it gives you a score and shows you what are the keywords you've written in, what batch type, and what holes you might have in your indexing from a roots perspective. What's interesting is he's not writing in the plural. He only wrote in the singular. And 88,000 is a lot. So I can probably try to find a way to write the plural in here. Diaper bags. And this is the baby girl keyword too. So diaper bags here with just diaper bags is huge. He has exact plural. But if I write large unisex baby bags for boys, girls, if I write just like this, right? I'm still underneath 200. We think after 150, you really lose some credit. But I go from 4.3 to 4.8 million. So I've taken the best listing title that had the best chances of maximizing ranking potential, and I've already improved it.
Yeah. I really like the fact that you still keep like your old version, right? Every time I make a little change, I still see like my previous change.
We gamify it in that way, so you can really see what worked and didn't work, and you can always go back to your old versions.
Yeah, like you have this feeling, okay, can I score a few more points? So yeah, I really like this feature.
Yeah, and so we have the PPC tools as well. I mean, we could definitely go through and spend an hour on this, but I appreciate you letting me walk through it and really show you guys.
No, I really want also to show it to the community, because I really think it's just it's an incredible time cutter. Like, just like, doesn't matter if you analyze the niche, even if you already decide to go into a market, like writing the right title, writing the right bullet points, finding the right keywords, it can help you so much, and it can save so much time that I really wanted to bring you on the show. So I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me, man. This is an opportunity for me as well, and hopefully your community learned something beyond just to sign up for Data Dive. Hopefully we were able to convey some value to them also.
I'm pretty sure. Brandon, you think, it's just coming up to my mind, do you think we can get a little coupon for the community?
Absolutely. What do you want the code to be? And then I'll make it happen right away.
Let's make it the name of the podcast. Exit2Go with a 2.
You got it. Exit2Go.
Yeah.
I'm writing that down right now, and that's going to give your community $50 off per month. So it's quite a big coupon.
Nice.
If anyone, if they use your code as well, because we have an inner circle mastermind, if anyone joins that, I can give them $1,000 off there, and then they'll save $100 per month on Data Dive.
Ooh, nice.
So I'll write the code for both, for Data Dive or Inner Circle. They can choose just to get the software or to join us in our community. We have 1,000 members. We do have some Germans and Europeans. We have about 100 European members.
I really expected to have you more like US, but good to hear that you're also.
Yeah, we have a lot of Australians actually. We have 307 and 8 figure sellers in our community.
Wow, that's a good number. Number.
It's a very, very collaborative community. We do weekly calls to offer support and answer questions and stuff. But I would say that over 100 Europeans and then 300 Australians.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. All right. Yeah. So I think we have a very nice walkthrough through Data Dive. Also, like your general perspective on product research. So when we just like summarize it a little bit, like we've seen how important just the keywords are from you to get a feeling what can I attack. So it's very, very interesting to see that point of view, because for example we are comparing much more the competitor itself. Like for us the keywords are also very important, but for me it's like more important to see how well a competitor has branded the listing. Has he just like 2 pictures or 7? Like this is a major critical point, for example, for us. But it's very interesting to see how much prioritization you're putting into the keywords, and Data Dive is just helping you to.
It really is. It's you can really understand how sophisticated and good at Amazon the sellers are, not just from the keywords, but also from how they've written their listing and how they've designed their listing. And it's funny because in some niches it's the opposite. You'll find that people are very good at images, very good at the visuals, but they're not good at the keyword research. And the key is that you have to be good at all of it in order to be good at Amazon.
For sure. All right, Brandon, I would say we have a wrap. I really appreciate your time. Appreciate the coupon, Exit2Go. We'll put it in the show notes. If you have any questions, I think there is an email to the customer support from Data Dive, right? I've also been in.
So support at datadive.tools. The website is datadive.tools. Anytime you need support, we have a great. We have staff there to help you. We're very supportive, and we also have enterprise tools that we're building out and collaborative tools for your teams. So we're very much about getting feedback. The more feedback you can give us, we're definitely going to take that into consideration as we develop new tools and move forward.
Perfect. So we also will put that in the description. Brandon, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Hope to see you on the call, on a podcast soon another time.
Great to see you. Take care.
Thanks.